Let's talk about this issue of readiness because, as you noted, 4 Navy ships collided with other vessels this year. It's cost 17 sailors their lives. You're a Navy man.
Yep.
One of the ships that crashed, obviously, the USS John S. McCain, is a destroyer. I believe it's named after your father and your grandfather.
Yes, yes.
You're John S. McCain III.
I've had so
well, people think that the ship's named after you. Usually, yeah. No, it's but you are John S. McCain III.
Yep.
Why is this happening?
It's happened because we have not funded. Whenever you cut defense, the first thing that goes is the ones that are easy to cut. Training, readiness, maintenance, those things, they just, if you cancel a ship, then you alienate a certain amount of people who are sponsors of that project. So the first thing that goes is readiness and training. And readiness and training has gone down and down and down so that they are deploying with fewer, let's talk about the Navy, with fewer ships at greater rapidity of exercising, which then cuts down on training, cuts down on readiness, etc. And the answer is inevitable. And by the way, our service chiefs have been warning us about this for several years. This is the product of the last 8 years, not the product of this year. So I appreciate the President's commitment, but we have got to spend more money on defense, we're in the most turbulent world that we've been in the last 70 years. I don't want to make a lecture, but at the end of World War II, we designed a new world order, the longest period of peace and prosperity in history. That is now unraveling, and I don't have to tell you all the places in the world where it's unraveling. This requires a stronger national defense, a stronger military. I mean, look at the crisis we're facing in North Korea. This is really serious.
Navy Secretary on recent fatal accidents, we have a problem. The Secretary of the Navy Richard V. Spencer acknowledged Tuesday that a failure of leadership as well as a lack of resources had contributed to the deaths of 17 sailors this year and said the Navy faces a range of challenges with regards to the safety of its ships. We have a problem in the Navy and we are going to fix it, Spencer told a Senate Armed Services Committee hearing on recent naval incidents at sea, including collisions involving the USS Fitzgerald and the John S. McCain. Spencer and Chief of Naval Operations Admiral John Richardson faced a grilling from senators, including the committee's chairman, Senator John McCain, who is the grandson and son of the John S. McCain's namesake. It's simply unacceptable for U.S. Navy ships to run aground or collide with other ships, and to have 4 such incidents in the span of 7 months is truly alarming, McCain said in his opening statement. How in the world does a billion-dollar destroyer not know that there is a freighter closing in on it? I don't understand how this could possibly happen, and I've talked to Maine lobstermen, they're scratching their heads, they can tell when there's a flock of seagulls are off their bow. Maine Independent Senator Angus King asked the witnesses, questioning why the ship's radars or onboard lookouts, watch crews were unable to detect the civilian ships. It's really unacceptable in this day and age with the technology that we have to have something like this happen regardless of the wider issues. This is just unacceptable from a modern seamanship point of view, King added. Sir, I agree with you 100%. Richardson said in responding to King's line of questioning, adding, proper operation of your equipment, fundamentals of watch standing, those are the things that we have to look at. While both Spencer and Richardson said that budget cuts brought about by sequestration and continuing resolutions had a negative impact on readiness and training, Richardson pointed to leadership issues as being a major factor behind the recent incidents. Richardson called inadequate budgets and constraints on resources a negative force but added that at the core, this issue is about leadership, especially command. I am accountable for the safe and effective operations of our Navy and we will fix this. I own this problem. I am confident the Navy will identify the root causes and correct them and that we'll be better in the end, Richardson said. The Navy has launched multiple investigations, a safety pause, and reviews in the wake of the recent accidents. Spencer said the reviews will include a CNO-led comprehensive review that will take a look at the tactical and operational situation, as well as a departmental strategic readiness review that he said will involve an independent team comprised of military and industry experts that will look and examine root causes, accountability, long-term systemic issues, and then provide remedial insight. We are taking immediate corrective actions to ensure we meet the training and material readiness standard to prevent another mishap, Richardson said. The Navy has also taken several personnel actions, including sacking the commanders of both the McCain and the Fitzgerald, as well as the commander of 7th Fleet, the first time a fleet commander has ever been relieved of duty. But McCain said some changes, such as prohibiting crew members from working 100 hours a week, should not await studies and strategic reviews. I appreciate all our plans and all our remedies, but there are some of them that are just common sense that don't require a study, so I think the men and women who are serving in the Navy would like to see some immediate action taken, McCain said.